What's up? It is my 8,540th day alive, and weather is insane because yesterday it was nice enough to wear shorts. Today it is 40 degrees outside and cloudy as heck, and it might snow later. What? Anyway, it's Thursday. It's Thursday for me, it's Thursday for you. This is how Thursdays work. I tell you what I think about Joe Biden because Joe Biden is our president, and if you're a president, then you're under constant scrutiny. And me, who wants to be president in 2032, look it up over here, wherever that is, I think that it would be kind of wrong of me to just ignore politics until I'm president. So I'm gonna, So I think the last thing I talked about was the revocation, no, that was published later, was the revocation of Executive Orders 13,801, maybe? I don't even know what that executive order did. It was one of Trump's, almost guaranteed, because it was like so recent, but whatever. Executive Order 14,017. America's supply chains. Did they need to be reworked? Maybe. Did it need 7 pages? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think any of this is gonna help. It might. I mean, but it's such a long document for supply chains. Like, I guess supply chains are a hard thing to, because, like, we need them. We need them so much. If the supply chain goes down, if any of the link of the supply chain goes down, then we don't have food, kinda. And I like food. And I really like going to Taco Bell, and if Taco Bell is ever out of meat, then man, I guess I need to look at the supply chains. Executive Order 14,018. Revocation of certain presidential actions? What? He revoked Executive Order 13,722. The core principles for regulating the United States financial system. Should it be regulated? And also Executive Order 13,828 for reducing poverty in America by promoting opportunity and economic mobility. Why'd you revoke that one? Do we not want economic mobility? Memorandum of January 29th, 2020. The delegation of certain authority under the Federal Service Labor Management Relations Statute. I don't know what any of that means. We probably could have gotten rid of it. Executive Order 13,924. Regulatory relief to support economic recovery. I feel like we need that one. Memorandum of September 2nd, 2020. Reviewing funding to state and local government recipients of federal funds that are permitting anarchy, violence, and destruction in American cities. Wait. You want more of that? Or have we just, like, reviewed it enough to know that we've already gotten them all? Because any government that is permitting anarchy, violence, and destruction to American cities is bad. We don't like that. Why'd you repeal that one? We need that. I don't know, I didn't read it. I should probably read it before I say we need that. I'm gonna make a better one, is what I'm saying. Executive Order 13,967, promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. That one's a waste. It's also a waste to undo it, but it's just wasteful. And Executive Order 13,979, ensuring democratic accountability in agency rulemaking. Accountability's great. Why did you repeal that one, Joe Biden? I didn't like Executive Order 14,018. Executive Order 14,019. Promoting access to voting. Every American should get the right to vote, whether they're on American soil or not. Especially if you're fighting for our country, you should be voting all the time. Because where do these hiccups come from? It's your commander-in-chief, and you should have, like I say, who's commanding you. What chief is your commander? Also, who else needs to make sure that they're always voting? I don't know. Homeless people need to vote, but you need an address to vote usually. But like, I think you judge society by the richest of its riches and the poorest of its poors. And I think our richest of our riches are doing great, but our poorest of our poor are struggling, like hard. So we need to level that out somehow. Not make them Just make it easy. Just take away some of their struggles. No American should be struggling for water, food, or shelter. And I think we have more than enough money and resources to fix that. I think the only reason we're not is because it's going to cost other people money. And while, yeah, it's going to cost everyone money in the long term, I think our national prosperity is very needed. People who don't need to vote, illegal immigrants, people who are here on visas, who else doesn't need to vote? Should people in prison vote? I think if you have like a reasonable sentence, you should be able to vote. Like if you're only serving like 6 years or whatever. But if you're serving anything over 50 years, no, you shouldn't vote. And honestly, it should just be in multiples of 4. So if you have 4 years in prison, the next president, I don't know. That's a weird math problem I don't want to look into right now. People in prison, vote unless it's a death sentence, because what'd you do? What'd you do to get that death sentence? Okay. Is that everyone I think that needs to vote? Yeah. Do I agree with Joe Biden's promoting access to voting? So far. But I fear it's going to be, abused later. Executive Order 14,020, establishment of the White House Gender Policy Council. Didn't need that. Didn't need that. We just need... You have a wife, Joe Biden. Ask her what she thinks. I don't think Nancy Pelosi can speak for all women, because Nancy Pelosi's barely alive. AOC kind of gets it, but AOC is, like, hated by half of America, and so, probably, she's gonna have a biased view. You need unbiased gender representation. You need, not males and females, or trans males or trans females, or whatever. You need good people, whether or not they have anything on their pants. What would I consider gender policy? First thing that comes to mind is access to contraceptives. That's the word. Because that's like can totally be for both genders, but a lot of people use it as a women's rights thing. But what was I saying? Contraceptives is always under gender policy. And, like, workplace etiquette is also part of gender policy. But things that don't need to be a part of gender policy... What? Whatever. I don't want to talk about gender policy anymore, because the way I see it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Does gender policy need reform? Yes. How do you reform it? You can't make people hire other genders, because then you end up getting unqualified people in positions of power. Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, AOC's qualified. Whether or not you like her, AOC's qualified. Are there any other representatives who I'm like, wow, they get it? No. They're all super old. Who's the youngest U.S. senator? You know what? That's not what today's about right now. We need to go on to Executive Order 14,021, guaranteeing an educational environment free from discrimination on the basis of sex, including sexual orientation or gender identity. If a kid wants to wear a skirt, let the kid wear a skirt. If you see someone bullying a kid wearing a skirt, that's messed up. And I guess it works in reverse. If you see a kid who just wants to wear shorts and you see a kid bullying a kid for wearing shorts, like nip that in the bud. But maybe, hear me out, don't, encourage, full hormonal transition until high school or college. The decisions I made when I was 10 years old don't really reflect who I am right now. And if you know something super important at the age of 10, kudos to you. But you have so much time after the age of 16, I think, to, like, decide, you know? I don't know that much about it. As far as I'm concerned, me, boy, will be boy. Male, me, male. Me will be male. He, male. Me, he, male. What? I don't think you can guarantee any type of educational environment. Because not only do you have to teach the faculty, but you have to get the faculty to do it to the students. And getting students to listen to faculty is near impossible, and that's coming from a student's perspective. The teachers I listened to were few and far between. And hopefully there's enough teachers in a faculty that the few and far between for each student is like covered. Because if one student goes through an entire like school line without finding that faculty member that gets it, then the school system failed. Our school system's already failing. We're one of the dumbest countries, even though we are so prosperous. We are so dumb. Because with ignorance comes bliss, you know? I think it's time for America to stop being ignorant. I think our school system does need reform. I think our private schools are outdoing our public schools by crazy numbers, depending on what state you're in, because of, like, funding and stuff. But we need nationally funded schools, not locally funded schools. Obviously, state history, important. Obviously, like, city history, whatever, important. If you have a city that's like really big in farms, do they really need to know what computers are? Yes, every child should have the opportunity to learn about everything. Ever. Yeah. Is that going to happen with educational reform? Oh, educational guarantees? No, you can't do any educational guarantees. You can say, hey, we're going to stop hiring teachers that think all girls should wear skirts and all boys should wear pants. But they can't make the kids do anything. That's not how kids work. Okay. I hated on Joe Biden for a long time. Everything he did. Oh, those last those executive orders that I just read off, trash. Every single one of them is unnecessary. Joe Biden is garbo. I'm looking up youngest U.S. Congressman, Madison Cawthorn. Youngest member of Congress at age 25. It's a he. Republican in North Carolina is the youngest senator we have. He probably gets it. Or he's a brainwashed Trump supporter. Either way, it is what it is. Okay. Thank you for watching. I will be here tomorrow. Stop by. Bye.